Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear humanity, first of all, I will say good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whichever time zone on this planet you are in. Today, I've come again and we are looking at healthy issues, healthy matters. And first of all, today we are going to look at things that are very, very dangerous to human bodies. Among the things that are very dangerous to a human body, it's alcohol. We are going to look at the hidden dangers of alcohol in human beings. And as is my advice, my intention to advise women, because women, in one way or the other, are very vulnerable, and at the same time, they are vulnerable, and they are the mothers that raises children. When we say women are vulnerable, women can be easily exposed to diseases, and at the same time, when they are exposed to diseases, those diseases affect children that they intend to have or they are having. So I'm going to focus on this information is directed at women and young girls, especially young girls, because as we saw in our previous episodes of health, we focused on women, and again this video, as I said, is intended for women and girls and young girls. So we are going to look at the hidden dangers of alcohol. Why the topic alcohol? Because alcohol is forbidden by a divine holy law that Allah laid down in the Holy Quran, that men and women do not put alcohol, do not consume alcohol, do not put alcohol in your bodies. Why? Alcohol is a very, very deadly substance or drug. You can call it a drug or intoxicant that is most accessible, is very accessible by any individual at any given time or anywhere. Why? That one I cannot say, but it's one of the most common abused or used drug or intoxicant that is freely available in societies that consumes alcohol. Alcohol is freely available, yet it's one of the deadliest drug that has ever been exposed to humanity, to the faces of humanity. And with that, the creator of human beings, Allah, laid down a law, a divine law, prohibiting the consumption of alcohol to both women and men. But as I said, I'm sending this information to women, dear mothers, dear young girls. In one of the articles of Health and Nature, in one of the simplest interpretation of the articles of nature in a woman's life is the article of vulnerability. Vulnerability, I mean being vulnerable. Women, by nature law, it's recorded in your bodies that you are vulnerable, whether you are drunk or not. You are vulnerable, whether your body is under the influence of alcohol or not. You feel it. You as women, you feel sometimes that you feel vulnerable. You feel a kind of exposed to dangers, and that danger, if a woman puts alcohol in her body, that danger of being vulnerable becomes very real, and it becomes something that, because she or a woman, once she consumes alcohol, loses any ability to articulate sense to security of her own body, her own reasoning, accountability, and any ability to protect herself from the dangers that lurks in modern society. We have what we call predators, men hidden under the disguise of predators. When you talk of predators, these are men who are always scouring the environment to see which woman is weak. Is she under the influence of alcohol? And they know pounce. They'll do any sort of foolish, dirty things upon you if your body is intoxicated or your mind is kind of impaired. So, he who created the universe, the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah, laid down a holy, divine law, saying, women, do not consume alcohol, and men, do not consume alcohol. But I'm going to focus on women and the dangers that are in the consumption of alcohol by a woman. As we've seen, that a woman, by natural interpretation law or nature's law interpretation in their bodies, there's a signal which says you are vulnerable, whether you are under the influence of alcohol or not. So now we are going to look at the health dangers, the hidden dangers that a woman goes or enters once she consumes alcohol. Health dangers, hidden dangers that a woman exposes her body to when she consumes alcohol, because we will classify them as hazardous health conditions, whereby, one, I'll go back to the vulnerability of a woman, because we've seen that a woman is vulnerable whether she's under the influence of alcohol or not. Under that very small whatever, there is what we call disease, sexually transmitted diseases. Among that if a woman is under the influence of alcohol, one of the things that because she loses any ability to articulate reasoning, accountability to security of herself. So if she's under the influence and she's drunk, she doesn't know which man she's talking to. She has never seen him. They've just met at that very time, and she is drunk already. She cannot reason. So that man may have diseases, because diseases and alcohol I'll show you something. Alcohol is one of the deadliest fuel that spreads disease, helps the spread of disease in human beings at a speed that no any knowledge whatever in human head can put a gauge or a measurement and know how deadly alcohol as a fuel is in the spread of disease among its men and women, or men to men and women, including the danger is that even at a given certain time, alcohol can drive men to pass diseases from human beings to animals. So we are looking at the hidden dangers of alcohol, and the focus is only on women. How dangerous, how hazardous it is for a woman to put alcohol in her body. First, we've seen that a woman is vulnerable whether she has taken alcohol in her body or not. That is a natural sounding alarm in her body that calls her that you are vulnerable, whether you put alcohol in your body or not. However, when you put alcohol in your body, that alarm of warning alarm in your body kind of is disabled, because what alcohol does, once a woman or consumes alcohol, anybody, when alcohol enters your body, it will attack and disable all electrical spasms in red and white blood cells. That those red and white blood cell electrical spasms are the one which carry information and say, young woman, I think you are vulnerable. But once they are disabled by alcohol that you've consumed, that security alarm is switched off. So you become open, what we call an open item for a predator to do whatever they want with you, because you can no longer reason for yourself. You've closed off the doors. Your alcohol has closed off the doors of security, reasoning, accountability of your to security, that you don't have any security. You don't have any reasoning to find out whether you are you are in a. I mean, when you go into a state of what you call your brain enters a state of partial paralysis. Partial paralysis, because the red and white blood cell electrical spasms, which allows the brain neurons to send signals of to communicate with the entire body and warning and this and that, has been the red and white blood cell electrical sequencing rotation cycle electrical spasms have been disabled, or killed or disabled. So your body enters what we call a partial paralysis. So you cannot reason, you cannot even recognize yourself. Once a woman enters that stage whereby her brain has been is in a state of partial paralysis, that time there is nothing anybody can do to save her, unless only Allah can send an angel and say, go and protect that woman from the predator that I see lacking or playing games of or dirty games upon a woman. That is only Allah can protect you at that time. But once, and Allah has forbidden, Allah has told women and men, do not put alcohol in your bodies. Why are we looking at women as the major or the most important, the most vulnerable victim, or the most vulnerable, or whatever, in this business of alcohol. One, we are going to go out of this field of whatever. We are going to go into the Mother Nature and Islam, the real true Islam. As we saw last time, that a woman's body has what we call a frequency pulse, or a frequency pulse, which is a frequency pulse of life, a frequency pulse of life, or a frequency pulse of life. A frequency pulse of life is a pulse that manages a woman's body the very day she arrives on this planet, the very day she's born. That frequency pulse of life is a pulse of Islam. Is the pulse of life, the pulse of Islam. The religion of the sun, the religion of the moon, and the religion of the planet Earth, and the religion of the entire creations in the universe. But in that pulse, the frequency pulse, there's one which is in the nearest object to planet Earth, which is the moon. The moon has like any other creation in the universe. These are celestial bodies and women. They have got what we call a pulse, a frequency pulse. But the frequency pulse, the frequency pulse of Islam, or of life in a woman, is what manages her body from the very day she's born until she becomes of age and goes into menstrual cycles and what have you. So that whatever is what regulates, tells the woman's body that your body is ready to grow breasts. Your body is ready to start after 28 days or 27 days. Your body will go into you will get into your menstrual period, and so on and so on. And at the same time, that frequency of life, the frequency pulse of life of Islam, is what manages and programs the body of a woman, or the white and red blood systems, the white and red blood cells of a woman, to be able to take on new whatever what we would call it. Once a woman goes into her period, the next phase is that her body is kind of put in a balancing reproductive gravity dynamic position, whereby that this balancing of the gravity dynamics, reproductive dynamics of the body has to be, her body, of a woman's body, has to be in kind of one way or the balancing with that of the sun. At the same time, the sun in the sky, because the sun is an Islamic, is the region of the sun, and the region of the sun is Islam. So the principle and application of gravity dynamic, reproductive gravity dynamics, which are meant to be put in a woman's body when she comes out of her reproductive menstrual cycle, can only apply or can only be programmed in a woman's body through the absolute divine holy decree of Islam, which is which a woman has in her body, that regulated, took her into going into a menstrual period, or menstrual cycle, or reproductive cycle, or reproductive cycle, or programs, or reproductive cycle, menstrual cycle, whatever, that application. So, if a woman consumes alcohol that signal, that frequency pulse that manages is attached to the moon, which is the nearest celestial body to planet Earth. When a woman consumes alcohol, we saw that when alcohol enters a woman's body or a human's body, it attacks the electrical sequencing or electrical spasms of white and red blood cells. The electrical spasms and its sequencing rotation cycles are attacked by alcohol once alcohol is in a woman's or human's body. So that means that the red and white blood cells are disabled because their electrical spasms or rotation cycle of the electrical spasms have been disabled or killed by alcohol. So that damages that disablement of the electrical spasms of the electrical spasms or in a red and white blood cell in a woman's body. Once it's disabled, its rotation cycles, whatever frequency cycles, automatically the woman's connection to the frequency pulse of the moon that manages her body to tell the body that it's after 28 days, your body is you are ready to go into your period. That whatever is cut off is kind of blocked off because of the electrical spasms in a woman who consumed alcohol was disabled or killed. The electrical spasms was disabled or killed or disabled that it can no longer able to do any coordination of natural balanced cycle rotations or allow the brain to do this natural balanced electrical whatever, because the brain can the brain neurons are kind of in a uncoordinated, slow or partial paralysis effects, whereby a message, an electrical spasm will come and it will not come in time. If it is coming in time, it won't be able to reach where it is sent to do the function, to do whatever function it's supposed to do in time. That means the body loses the balance. The human body loses balance, and especially in women, it loses the connection to the frequency pulse of the moon or the frequency pulse of life, which is in the moon, for a woman to be able to balance or to know that her body to know that it's 30 days or 28 days or 27 days, so that she can go into her menstrual period, so that whatever is cut off, and her body cannot communicate with the moon or the planet Earth or the sun, so that her body cannot balance any reproductive or cannot have a program any reproductive gravity dynamics in her body because of the disablement of her electrical spasm frequency cycle frequencies in her blood. So that is kind of blocks off any ability for that woman to get a normal menstrual cycle or periods. So even when they occur, they will be kind of very painful, and they will be irregular. Or sometimes they just disappear completely. So we are going to look again at what are the hidden dangers of alcohol to a woman, the deadly dangers of alcohol in a woman's body. As we saw that a woman has a very special frequency pulse of life That frequency of parts of life is what Allah programmed in a woman, that you be born, and after these many years, you carry on and produce a child yourself. But when the woman's body kind of enters, a woman consumes alcohol, that program is kind of what we call it becomes as we saw that a woman will have irregular menstrual cycles because her body cannot coordinate, cannot work, cannot get the information from the moon or from Mother Nature in time, because the electrospasms in her body have been kind of disabled or killed. So that is what that causes that woman is ability to be able to have children are questionable. And if it's questionable, that means also that her body, if she becomes pregnant, it will be very complicated and very difficult for her to go through the 9 months of a baby or creation taking place in her body, because the body cannot handle the duties and the whatever that a creation being created in a woman's womb needs for her to be to go through out the 9 months. So the woman, because of she used alcohol, the chances of her having a miscarriage are very, very high. Very, very, very high. So we are going to look at the dangers, the hidden dangers of alcohol in the body of a woman. When a woman consumes alcohol, alcohol contains very deadly gunk and toxins. That these toxins are very deadly. And in a woman's body, there is something very, I don't know, only Allah can explain why it is like that. But something happens when a woman puts alcohol in her body. All the alcohol elements in alcohol goes straight into the ovaries of a woman. Whatever units or whatever elements, poisons and toxins that are in alcohol, once they enter a woman's body, they all go straight into the ovaries of a woman. And you and I know that many of you doctors and what have you, you know that a woman's ovaries are where the egg is kept, and where the ovaries of a woman are where the reproductive cycles or the programs of the continuation of human beings on planet Earth is majorly kind of centered. So when a woman consumes alcohol, as we've seen, all alcohol toxic elements of the toxins of alcohol, they will go into the ovaries of a woman. Once they enter the ovaries of a woman, they make up what we call a mucus, a lining. They make a mucus, a lining in the ovaries of a woman. And they clog and they attack every section of the ovaries. And they clog and they make lining in the ovaries. And that lining of mucus, of gunk, of toxins are very deadly to the egg that is going to go into the ovaries of a woman in order to get fertilized and then maybe become a new creation. My people, mothers, Allah has forbidden women and men from the consumption of alcohol. There is a holy divine law which prohibits men and women from the consumption of alcohol. My people, once an egg enters or is put in the ovaries of a woman who has consumed alcohol, that egg is trapped in the gang of toxins, which have become a lining of the ovaries because that woman has been using alcohol time and time and again. Because every element of alcohol that is consumed by a woman, it all goes straight into the ovaries of a woman or into the reproductive system of a woman. Once the egg is placed or enters the ovaries, which is the lining now, it has become the lining in the ovaries of the woman is alcohol toxic gang mucus. Alcohol toxic gang mucus. That mucus just attacks and alter the egg that is being put there. And once the egg is altered or attacked, it will be damaged, causing genetic alteration to the offspring. If that woman, that egg in a woman's womb, in the ovaries at that time, gets a sperm and is fertilized, the child that will be created out of that egg will be genetically, her genetics, the genetics of that child will be altered, because in the process of alcohol or making itself as a mucus gunk, elements of alcohol making themselves as a mucus gunk lining the ovaries of the woman, that is a genetic alteration process in a woman. Whether she likes it or not, alcohol has already altered her genetics, reproductive genetics, which is she either gets irregular menstrual cycles. If you're not irregular, they are very painful, and so many things that happen. The woman will tell you this. But all this occurs because alcohol, once it enters a human body, the human body does not have the mechanisms, does not have the know-how to remove any alcohol from a human body. That's why Allah said, human beings, do not consume alcohol. It's prohibited of you to put alcohol in your body, because your body does not know and does not have the mechanisms to remove alcohol toxins gang from human bodies. And with that, the first effects of alcohol in a person or in a human is that it circulates in every muscle tissue of either a woman or a man. And with that, alcohol, once it has circulated in every muscle of your body's ability to renew the muscles is kind of cut off and disabled. The brain neurons are cut off and they can't do any work properly. So that means every section of your body is in a state of disablement, partial paralysis, which doctors and neurologists say partial paralysis. Once the body, now let's look at the brain of a human being for just a short time. Let's look at the brain of a human being and especially the neurons. Once a person is in a state of partial paralysis, or neurons are in a state of partial paralysis, the most deadly part of that is that time. A human brain is whatever. If it goes in 10, 30, 40 seconds, we are talking of seconds, in a state of partial paralysis, that is one of the deadliest to a human, because the neurons are starved. They don't have electrical spasms to be able to spark and work, send reflex and whatever, to be able to work properly. They're kind of disabled. So every brain neuron has a connection to every part of a human body, to the heart, to every part of the human body, because every part of the human body depends on the whatever of the brain and the heart, communication or whatever, exchange of information, to allow the human body, every part of every organ in the human body to function properly, to function properly. But once the brain neurons are went into a partial paralysis, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, a minute, that period of whatever a minute of a human's body or brain neurons in a partial paralysis, it translates that every organ in that person is very likely and is likely to come out of its natural order, which causes malfunctions of every other organ, including the blood as well as the heart, and every part of that person goes into a state of uncoordinated whatever, because of the partial paralysis, or what we said, partial paralysis of the brain neurons. So, my people, this message is especially directed at women, and I would like the so-called neurologists, people who study the brain of a human being, to take a leaf from this information and allow every medical institution on this planet to tell humanity that indeed alcohol is one of the deadliest thing that has ever been kind of exposed to human beings. My people, women, we've been, before we came to this, to the brain neurons, that I was showing you that once an egg is in a state of genetic alteration, after being put in a mucus of toxin, alcohol gunk lining of the ovaries, because that's what happens. We saw that every element of alcohol, once it enters a woman's body, it will all find itself in the ovaries of a woman. So the egg was put there, and it was genetically altered, causing a new disease in the genetic structures of human beings, causing a new disease to be passed on or to be brought onto this planet in human societies as a new disorder, medical disorder, new disease of genetic alteration of the genetics of human beings, which can, in the process, we can either affect the child either in a severe, the child can be severely disabled or mild disablement. But you as human beings, you don't need, especially women, especially young girls who carries the womb for 9 months. You as a woman who carries the womb for 9 months, you don't need any kind of mild or severe medical condition in your child. You need a healthy child, a very vibrant, healthy child who has no any medical disorder that requires you to go to hospital every other day. So, to that, I will remind you that Allah has forbidden women and men from the consumption of alcohol. Allah did lay down a law, a holy divine law, that prohibits men and women from the consumption of alcohol. Because alcohol is one of the deadliest intoxicant drug that is freely available in shops, freely available in counter of shops and whatever. Even when you enter a restaurant, some restaurants, as soon as they enter, they'll ask you, what kind of wine, red or white wine do you want? White or red? So this is now what we call an open business, which is either human genetics are either being put on a scale by human beings themselves, on a scale whereby you look at your genetics. Are they okay today? Are they okay tomorrow? Do they need a patch up every other day? Patch up the genetic whatever in order for us to survive? Whereas he who created you said, prevention is better than cure. I've laid down these whole divine laws in the Holy Quran. I've laid down divine holy laws as an act of health, which says prevention is better than cure. Do not engage in alcohol consumption. If you do, your body does not know how to remove any alcohol toxic gunk from the human body, and that will cause your bodies to either be genetically altered. When a body of a human being is genetical, or the genetics of a human body are kind of damaged, that automatically any medical practitioner or any medical whatever will tell you that once a genetic whatever of a human being is altered, that spells disease. That is what we call disease. Because any genetics that has been kind of either reduced or whatever, misplaced, or this what we call remove or which is dead, it will never recover, because no human being can do that. No human being, however intelligent you are, that can repair a genetic of a human body once it is lost. So there are new diseases every day, every 24 hours. There are new genetic disorders in human beings which are brought on by the access to freely available intoxicant or drug, which is alcohol. Whereas the most holy glorified Almighty Allah said, my people, do not put alcohol in your bodies, because it's one of the deadliest substance, drug on planet Earth that can easily destroy every living human being. Because if you were to read about generally there were men and water in long time ago who were kind of arrogant, and they indulged in alcohol, and Allah warned them and warned them again. And what destroyed them was alcohol itself. What destroyed those people was alcohol. Because after they've become wasted and useless to themselves, Allah said, is enough? Is it enough now? And He sent a calamity. And I think there is something very, something like not very far off from here in Europe, in a place called Pompeii. Men and women who are covered in the lava, molten lava, while they were indulging in alcohol. Pompeii is a place I think found in either, I don't know whether it's in Italy or whatever, that the archaeologists came across men and women covered with the lava, the molten lava. And when they exhumed their whatever, their remains, some of them were found with utensils of alcohol. Utensils of alcohol around them. Utensils of alcohol around them. This is not long time ago. It's not so many years ago. Maybe it's around something like 3,000, 4,000, 2,000 years. So my people, alcohol is one of the deadliest drug, intoxicant substance is freely available on the counter, even in restaurants where they serve food. And in some places of the world, they take alcohol to be a part of the diet. a part of something that you have to have on the table every time you eat something. My people, that is very wrong. I'm not against whatever. I'm trying to interpret what was given to me, to interpret to you as human beings why your bodies must be respected. Because once you allow you consume alcohol, your body again is like you're building a mansion, or if not a mansion, a business, and that business is a pain store business, whereby today you bring whatever and start building. Alcohol, when it enters the human's body, it does not come out. It just sits in every muscle tissue in the human's body. After a while, it causes there's a format in alcohol, which is decaying, rotting, boiling muscle tissue, for whatever effect it puts on every muscle in your body. Because once alcohol toxins enters the human body, they cannot come out, and the body does not know how to remove those alcohol toxins, gunk from the human body. So it circulates it. First, it kills the liver. The liver of a human being, once you consume alcohol, is killed because it is filled with toxic alcohol gunk. In some cases, there is a disease called hepatitis. The reason why hepatitis occurs in human bodies is because hepatitis, these are whatever, they are naturally in a human body, but once the liver is dead and alcohol cycle is full, the liver of a human being is full of toxin, gunk, toxins. All the bacteria which used to do some of supporting the body or the liver to do whatever, to make it work, do some work of in the human body. After they start feeding on the toxic alcohol, toxin, gunk. That kind of drive them into what we call there's a biomechanical phase replication in a human body that makes those hepatitis, whatever, become killers. Become mutate into what? Because they are feeding on alcohol in the liver and in the blood. So they turn and mutate and become something that kills the human body, that kills, attacks and kills the human being. That, as I said, a human body and the liver, there are some whatever bacteria or that they work with the liver to clean and this and that. When the person start using alcohol, the liver of a human being will die. So it will die and it will be piled up with alcohol toxic gunk. And that alcohol toxic gunk, the other bacteria which we are appetite, whatever, they keep on staying, they stay feeding and whatever. But now they are feeding on alcohol toxic gunk. And that makes them mutate and become killers. Mutation, there is a biomechanical whatever, that duplication of those whatever, and mutation whatever, that makes them become hepatitis that kills a human being. So Allah has forbidden men and women from the consumption of alcohol. My people, you don't know the dangers in which you put your bodies when you consume alcohol. Okay, we are going to go back to a woman and her body. We saw that if a woman consumes alcohol, first of all, there's what we call there's what we saw that is in a woman, what we call the pulse, the frequency pulse of life that is programmed in a woman to be able to carry on producing children or supporting the survival of the human race on planet Earth. We saw that once a woman consumes alcohol and her electrical spasm sequencing cycles or frequencies are cut off, that cutting off the electrical spasm sequencing of red and white blood cells in a woman's body also disconnects or cuts off the powers of the celestial and the frequency powers of life in her body, which means that she cannot get programs of reproductive dynamic, reproductive gravity dynamic renewal in her body, because she cannot enter periods, or she cannot enter the periods. And if she gets the period, that program cannot be installed in her body because of the residues of alcohol that is already in circulation in her body. Because as we said, alcohol does not come out of the human body because the human body does not know or does not have the mechanism how to remove alcohol from a human body. So my people, alcohol is one of the deadliest things that you people who drink have ever exposed your bodies to. So, my people, this program or this video, this information is directed at women, young women, who are going to have children, who are looking forward to have children in the future, to bring children of which we call future generations. As we saw that drinking alcohol can kind of look like you are constructing either a retirement home. Let's put it like that: a retirement home. You're making a retirement home. But whatever that you bring material for building that retirement home it says pain store. Whenever you consume alcohol, that is what is registered on the materials that you are building the retirement home which you are preparing for yourself in the future. My people, oh my goodness, these people have attacked my whatever. You're building your retirement home with materials marked with whatever saying pain, because you're building a pain store if you do consume alcohol in your early years. If you're a girl, as I said, alcohol has an effect on the human muscles, the human body tissues, which is very deadly. The deadly tissue, whatever, is a decaying, rotting, boiling, degrading, or muscle degradation format. Because it cannot come out of the system and it's circulated in every muscle tissue. Your body gets pain every 24 hours. Different phases of pain, because once the sun rises in the morning, it will be a different kind of pain. By 10 o'clock, it will be a different kind of pain. By 1 o'clock, it will be a different kind of pain. By the sun goes down again, it will be a different kind of pain. When you lie down, it will be a different kind of pain. So those are the effects of alcohol in your body, because you drank for years, and alcohol, it didn't go out. That's what I say. You are building a pain store, calling it building a retirement home, which is very difficult to have a painful or retirement home, because it will be a pain store. It cannot be a retirement home. You cannot sit in a retirement home where you can sit in a retirement home if you look after your body properly. You did not kill your muscles, you degrade your muscles, or intoxicate your muscles with alcohol. Your muscles are clean. So your joints will be vibrant, will be healthy, every part of you will be healthy. But once you consume alcohol on a daily basis, that is what I say, building a retirement home. But it's a pain store, because we saw that in the morning, you had pain in every joint in your backbone. in the afternoon. Your bowel is always your bowel is also another pain. Your kidney is kind of off, on and off. You need some tablets. You need a headache. And I mean, every part of your body. Because once you build a pain store, you are the manager of the pain store. You are the attendant of the pain store. And you are the beneficiary of that pain store. Because you built it. You invested in consuming alcohol. You invested in consuming alcohol, which I showed you that in women, young women, if you consume alcohol, the chances of you having a child who has a medical disorder, which needs your attention 24 hours a day, those chances are 87%, even more, that your child will have a medical disorder, either mild or severe. But if you don't consume alcohol, your children will be very healthy, very intelligent, very cuddly, very lovely. Whoever looks at your child will say, what a beautiful child. She's always bubbly, jumping, exploding with happiness, because her body, her cells are very healthy. Her red and white blood cells are healthy. Her electrical spasms are healthy. So she's very healthy. But once this alcohol, whatever, once you put alcohol in your body, it kind of one or the other, a single toxin, once alcohol enters the human body, it attacks every red and white blood cell. And once it attaches and kills the electrical spasm. The electrical spasm in the white and white blood cells are responsible for communication with the celestial pulse frequency of the moon and of the sun and of planet Earth in a woman's body, which manages the woman's body to be able to have a healthy child. Once alcohol is in your body, it will cut off that connection. It will disconnect that whatever. If you get information, it will not be kind of fully organized, because your body, your electrospasm, we are in a state of either they come on in the morning if Allah allows it, or your body kind of can't resuscitate itself, and then they are off again. So the program of life in that woman's body that who consumes alcohol is kind of is not normal. It doesn't work on, it rotates on a sequencing rotation, both in tandem with the moon and Mother Earth and the sun. So your whatever becomes that it's patched up. You need whatever here to get support from here and there and there. And that's why Allah said, do not consume alcohol, in order to avoid giving birth to children who are genetically, however small the genetic alteration is in a human genetics, in a human body, in a baby's body, that however little it is, it's an alteration that you as young girls, you wouldn't like to look at your child unable to do anything for themselves. So, my people, young women and men, and especially young women, because this program is for women, do not allow your bodies to look at the table displayed with extravagant bottles of champagne and you say you are enjoying life. No, you are indeed damaging the future generations or your children that you might be carrying in the womb tomorrow. That's all I can say. Thanks for watching. I'll come again and we can continue discussing and seeing the dangers which are lurking in the wilderness of alcohol, or in the place where when you go to the wilderness where alcohol is freely available. There are very, very deadly things that happens there. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Look after your body. Respect yourself. Look after and protect your beautiful body, because your body is something that very special, especially to you as a woman. Your body is a very special thing. It's a very beautiful thing, which you should look after when you are young, so that in your older days, you don't have to get someone to lift you off your bed and carry you and whatever, so that you can support yourself. If you never put alcohol in your body, you can as well as run as faster and faster than an 18-year-old, 20-year-old boy or girl who drinks alcohol. When you are at the age of 80, you can easily do that. Run as fast as, even faster than a 20 or 18-year-old boy. So, mothers, or every woman, or every mother, this program was for you. Maybe if you tell your mom, I don't like alcohol anymore because it's not healthy for me, they will stop selling it or buying it, or saying, I'll take you out and I'll buy you a bottle of champagne. A bottle of champagne is not worth any of your assets. The beauty of on your face. A bottle of champagne is not worth that. In the other way, one or the other, it's a burden on you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a beautiful day.